Hello and welcome to another episode of CBTV. This is our first for 2013. A new year brings with it new issues, new opportunities and new challenges. And this year, every Australian voter will have a choice between continuing down the same political path of the last 5 years or making a decision to change for the better. Our nation is now on a path that many other countries chose decades ago. Debt and deficit, the nanny state and welfare for all. The catastrophic result of such an approach can be seen in places like Greece and Spain and Portugal. So one of our biggest challenges this year is to answer the question, are we capable of learning from the mistakes of other countries? Unfortunately, that question is not taken as seriously as it should be by our political leaders. Take for example the state of government spending. Now Labor have been spending exorbitant amounts of your money with little regard for the consequences. In just 5 years, Australia has gone from being over $40 billion in the black to a net government debt of more than $147 billion. We're now paying $20 million a day on interest alone. The government claims they just had to spend in order to avoid the global financial crisis, but the fact is that spending like a drunken sailor is in Labor's DNA. We've seen the same thing in Europe, and most recently in the United States. Governments thinking they can borrow and spend their way to perpetual prosperity. But it cannot be done. The distress and extreme measures encountered by some of these governments serves as a warning to rein in our own spending. But our government still doesn't get the message. And it's the same with our values and our cultural institutions. England and France are just two Western nations that have been experiencing years of unrest and riots as social cohesion has been breaking down. Segregation grows at the expense of a united national identity and a sense of belonging. As the chief rabbi in the UK once said, by dissolving national identity it makes it impossible for groups to integrate because there is nothing to integrate into. And by failing to offer people pride in their own nationality, it forces them to find sources of pride elsewhere. In recent years, we've seen some challenges to our social structure. There have been riots in Cronulla and Sydney, and increasing demands for separate laws that chip away at what binds us together as Australians. Yet too many seem happy not to address any of these issues, despite the warning signs from overseas. It seems to be a case of, it won't happen here. Well, unfortunately, unless appropriate measures are taken now, what has happened overseas will happen here. In fact, it has already started. A new year offers an opportunity for us to do things differently. I hope that this year we'll all be open to learning the lessons of other countries so that we can build a better Australia for all of us. This is Cory Bernardi. You're watching CBTV.